June is Pride Month, and it may be coming to a close, but allyship is important year-round. Joining us this morning is our race and culture expert, Dr. Rosemarie Allen. Good morning. It's so good to see you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for this conversation because, of course, you know, allyship and building up this community is not just in the month of June. So if it is top of mind for folks, what do you suggest about moving forward?
You know, first, I love Pride because it highlights and celebrates difference. It celebrates love. It celebrates individuality, who we are. It's a time where people can express their rights and their freedom to be. The gender expression, self-identity, who you choose to love. But we also highlight and raise the awareness of how the LGBTQ plus community is treated. The discrimination, the oppression, the bias, and as we heighten awareness about this, we have an opportunity to really address it so that people can live freely and be who they are. Yeah. And Anusha, this is really important because we're finding that, for instance, 31% of gay men between the ages of 18 and 35 who have previously come out, they're forced to lie about who they are in the workplace. And we know that this leads to a myriad of mental health and health issues.
And that's so significant because, I mean, we spend most of our week at the workplace with our colleagues. And so how do we support in the workplace? What does that ideally look like?
You know, everyone's talking about DEI, and people have created wonderful DEI statements. But what we have to do is live the mission out loud, and we can do that by being very explicit in the practices and policies that are gender affirming, and accountability measures must also be included in that. So having policies and practices in place that support and protect our non-gender conforming, non-binary communities. We can also create a place that's safe so that people can talk about who they are, their activities, who they love, their partners, in the same way that others in the workplace can share. But I think one of the most important things that we can do is when we see bias and transphobia and homophobia in the media, we can disrupt that in the moment.
You know, that actually brings up my next question of if you are seeing that bias happening, let's say right in front of you in your office, the best way to intervene, what is your advice there?
You know, first, you have to decide you will be that person to intervene. That hate has no place. And when you witness it, sometimes you can become so paralyzed that you don't know what to say.
Right.
But what you can do is first create a treasure chest of responses. And these responses can be used at any time because if you don't know what you're going to say before it happens, you may not say anything.
Sure.
So some of these responses are, I don't find that funny.
Yeah.
What you said offended me. When you use that word, it doesn't help people feel safe here. And if that seems a little too straightforward for some people, you can question.
Yeah.
Like, tell me more about that, or what do you mean by that?
Open the door to that conversation.
Yes, and that way it stops it in the moment.
Yeah.
It disrupts it, and we all have the ability to be disruptors.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, but we're just out of time. But that is such good advice to just have those responses ready so that you aren't kind of frozen in that moment. Thank you so much for coming in today. It was so good talking to you.